Hi, everybody. Welcome to another edition of Too Opinionated. We're really excited today. I'm joined by actor, writer, creator, Thales Correa. So, welcome, Thales.
Hi, nice to meet you. Thanks for having me. Love how you pronounce my name really well.
Yeah, so off camera, we talked about that for a few minutes. I wanted to make sure I got your name correct, and I was pretty close.
It was great. It was amazing. You got it right in the first. I was impressed. But thanks for having me. It's a pleasure. I'm really excited to be here, and hope we get to talk a little bit about poly people and
Yeah.
and all the good
But
stuff.
yeah, I definitely want to talk about poly people because my wife and I watched it in a night, and we loved it, absolutely, absolutely terrific. But before we do, let's start this way. What gave you the desire, let's say, to join the entertainment business or become a creator or a writer or an actor? What made you want to become that?
Oh man, you're talking about like back in the days. Well,
Yeah.
I grew up in Brazil, born and raised in Brazil in a very small town. That it was like my dad was a coffee farmer, but
Oh.
I don't know. I've always liked entertainment. It was just hard for me to get my way into it when I was younger because
Yeah.
like my where I grew up didn't even had a movie theater, but I've always been very geeky. Like I've always liked computers.
Yeah.
I've always film on those cassette tapes. I'm from the 90s.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, here we go. But and then I've always liked it since I was young. My parents always wanted to bring me to a vocational career. They always like try to steer me back to the like they're always like encourage me to get out of this like so like do like I did administration, business administration in
Yeah.
university at first, but then I've always been like, and then I've always been trying to find my way back in, like do small theaters in my city. When I first learned English, I moved to Ireland.
Oh,
Um,
okay.
and when I was like 18, I went to learn English there, and then I was a little bit more on my own, and then I was able to explore a little bit more of theater there, musicals. So when I came back to Brazil, I was already like, you know what, that's what I'm doing.
Ah,
So I've always wanted to do that. I feel like my sexuality and my career path was both like this, like a discovery that I had
yeah.
to understand and be comfortable, like, and accept both things and learn how to make it happen and stand up for myself.
Yeah. Well, yeah, that makes perfect sense. And you went to school at UCLA? Fitness.
Yeah, and then I came to study here, and that's how I became a little bit more grounded on on my, on what I want to do. Discover a little bit what it means to be a director, and then
Yeah.
from that I started writing, and then I started producing my stuff. But it was really in America that I found my feet in the arts.
Yeah. Yeah. So do you love coffee or hate
I love
coffee?
coffee.
Yeah.
Of course, I love coffee. I think I can't get up in the morning without my
Yeah.
cup of coffee. That's typical. Don't talk to me until I have my coffee. I'm not a morning person, and like when I wake up, it takes me a little bit of time to get geared up. So I wake up in a really bad mood, and I have my coffee, and then as the day progresses, I my energy starts kicking in. So
That's
the
right.
coffee really helps me to get that going.
The coffee is probably a defense mechanism for everybody around you. They know,
You
when he
know,
first wakes up, give him coffee.
exactly.
It's going to be rough.
Exactly. And I sleep really easily, so coffee is my you know what I mean, is the thing that helps me keep my energy level in
Oh,
a
yeah.
in a good
You got to
place.
have something. Got to have something to keep
Do
going.
you like coffee?
I'm newer to it because I was
You're
always more
newer to
like
coffee.
yeah, I am. I was a Diet Coke drinker for forever, but
Okay.
I'm trying to be a little healthier. It's not the best for you.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
started drinking coffee with with creamer and some sugar and stuff to get used to it. But then
yeah,
here lately, I'm doing it just black, and I'm doing
yeah.
pretty well with it. It just
There
takes a
we
while,
go.
like anything else. It takes a while to get used to it.
It does. It's not the healthiest thing either. I heard coffee, but hey,
Yeah, you gotta have some.
Coke
It's better than Diet Coke.
is better than Diet Coke for sure.
Yeah.
In Brazil, we are used to have way less coffee. I don't know if it's stronger, but like we drink in a little cup. Like if you go to Brazil and you ask for a coffee
I was
on a
like an espresso.
like it's like an espresso little cup, and that's the normal thing. And we always drink with milk. That's what I got used to.
Yeah.
So I don't drink much. I always had to have milk in my coffee. I don't
Yeah.
drink
See, I
much.
prefer it that way.
Yeah, yeah, me
Yeah.
too.
I've gotten into the iced coffees lately. I
Oh,
kind of
iced
like
coffee is
those.
amazing, especially here in LA. It's very trendy.
Yeah. I kind of like
It's
those.
not like it's bitter. It's a bitter taste. It's not like tasteful. It's just like I think it's a little it just gives you a kick of energy that
It
I think
does.
your body gets used to it. That's what coffee does.
Yeah.
And it's great if you're feeling down, if you're feeling like you don't have energy, you just have a little coffee. I've drank coffee before working out, like when
I do
like
that.
a pre-workout.
Yeah. And like a pre-workout.
Yeah, that's what's up with coffee.
Well, so that's all I have. And that's all the time we have. So I'm glad we got coffee in there.
What? You gotta tell me, because like they tell me podcasts, and sometimes I listen to some podcasts, and they're like longer, relaxed conversation. But sometimes there are podcasts that are faster. So you let me know what the amount of time.
No. We got
You
time.
guide me
We got
through
time.
Good.
So I've been
I'm
watching.
talkative. I can't be here forever talking about.
That's right. So I've been watching Poly People, which is on YouTube, and
Yep.
it's. I love that it's a kind of mockumentary style. It's the actors are talking, kind of to the camera a little bit, and then they're going about their lives together, and it's hilarious. It's the funniest show that I have found in a long time. I mean,
Oh my
and they're short
gosh.
episodes. They're so funny, and it's. I like it because you have an ensemble cast. You've got four of you. Every one of you is really funny, but in different ways.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm
So
glad you think that way.
yeah, tell me a little bit about it. Where did you come up with the idea? What was your thought process? What were you trying to get across or to accomplish with the show?
Yeah, it's funny you mentioned the characters, because when we got the script and we were developing the show, me as the director, that's a thing that I noticed, that I knew that the show would stand on the characters. Like they should be it's a more character based type of show than story wise. So I that's something that I wanted to to make sure that all the actors understood that, so we could make the thing happen. The way it happened, the show is I don't know if you're familiar with Second City, the comedy group.
Oh yeah, of course.
Yeah, I think they have in Chicago, in New York, and they have here in LA too. I was part of the writing program last year, right before the pandemic,
Oh
and then I met my classmate Melissa Girard, who was pitching that show on that writing group, and when we got along, and she wanted me to play Cuddelz, and then she saw my movie Bathroom Stalls in Parking Lots, and then she wanted me
yeah,
to write.
which is
And
also hilarious.
did you get to see that too?
We haven't seen all of it. We're about halfway through right now,
Okay.
but yeah, it's so funny.
yeah. So that was from there, from Second City, and then I brought you Anthony Moore, which is my co-producer. We were doing a lot of stuff back then, and then we started writing and developing the show. We thought it was an amazing idea that Melissa created, like this, following those people in this house on a mockumentary format, and they're very diverse, and we knew that this diversity it would be interesting, like those four different people united by love and living in this house and facing normal problems that the couple usually face, even if they're not polyamorous. And yeah, and then when we produced it, we loved it. We cast it. We pay attention on the acting. We knew that's what it would hold the show. It was the characters, and I'm glad you noticed that.
Yeah, yeah, I love that part of it, and it's just so fun, watching. So you've got four individuals that are basically in a relationship with each other, which is the base, and they're living together, and it's just it's not only about, kind of I'll say it's not really about the risque part of it. It's about the relationship and how there's difficulties and trials that you have to get through, because instead of two people and two personalities, you've got four. So then you've got to deal with each. If somebody's having a bad day, it affects the whole group. I thought it was great.
Yeah. We try to do a lighthearted show. I know that every time we hear polyamorous or LGBTQ plus, all those letters, like people that may not be a part of the community might be like, like they think that is some political preachy, some statement that they're gonna watch, and that's really not what poly people try to do. I feel like just being a show that has the LGBTQ plus backdrop is already a statement and is already like a representation, but the show itself is more like you said, is like a comedy, and I think everybody can relate to what happened to those characters in their house.
Yeah, I think so. And one of the issues that my wife and I talk a lot about on like network TV. One of the to their credit, they're trying to change things. They're trying to make it more inclusive. But right now, a lot of times it seems forced. It doesn't seem like, when they're doing that, it necessarily fits the story. And one of the great things about poly people is it just seems normal. It's just a group of people trying to get along. So it makes you get invested, and you don't really worry or you don't think about the fact that it's four people in a relationship. You're just invested in the story. And I think that's really well done.
Yeah, thank you. Appreciate that. I also, I know what you're talking about. Sometimes I see some productions that it comes from a good place because they're trying to find representation, right? But sometimes it does seem forced. Like I've seen some productions that they just try to stick some words there that are trendy, and then it doesn't fit. And it was like, why you just mention like this?
I mean, I guess it's a start.
Out of nowhere, it doesn't fit the context. At the same time, like when I did bathroom stalls and parking lots, it was very based on our reality here. Me, my friend here, like in San Francisco, and his the friendships that he had, we try to recreate on that movie, and we always try to put diverse casts and diverse give opportunities and stuff like that. But I feel that we need to be true to the story first. And in our realities, it was kind of like similar to what we did on the screen. And you know what I mean? Without, like, we're already, like some people say, Cuddelz didn't need to be flamboyant, or this guy didn't need to do like that. Everybody question our choices, but at the same time, it's like I have friends like that, like I'm basing those characters on people that I know. So it doesn't have to be A or C or whatever. As long as, like we said, we're being true to ourselves. I think that shows on the screen, and that's what we're trying to do.
Yeah, and I think you do it really well. So let's talk a little bit about the characters. So you play Cuddelz with a Z, which is already kind of hilarious. And a lot of times you'll say Mama Cuddelz.
Yeah.
And that always cracks me up. So describe Cuddelz. Who is Cuddelz?
Cuddelz is a non-binary person He is an influencer. He or she. He doesn't even he used both
Yeah, he
pronouns.
kind of goes back and forth.
He goes back and forth. He's a person who doesn't like much of doesn't like labels much. So
Right.
he doesn't it's not like all non-binaries are like that. Some non-binaries really like to be defined by one or the other pronouns, or even they. That's the
Yeah.
most common pronouns that they like to use. But pronouns are really from the preference of the person. You know what I
Right.
mean? It's like I prefer to use that pronoun. And then in case of Cuddelz, that's why he has this name with a Z. He's just like, it kind of expresses his personality a little bit, like Mama Cuddelz, Mama Bear. He is like he is like, he has his sexual level is a little lower than the others in the house. He likes to be a little more cuddly. He likes to hugs more, and that's what he satisfies himself. He's like he has this spirit of a very young person that is an influencer. He's usually more like of the household. Like he takes the main person that stays home. Everybody has a
He's kind of
job.
running the household.
He kind of runs the household a little bit more like a mama type of deal. And so he cooks, he cooks for everybody. He takes care of the house, and then he does his little makeup tutorials on social media. So that's
Yeah.
that's what he does.
Yeah,
And
and he's my favorite character because
oh yeah,
my favorite character, just hilarious. And
yeah.
I love the scene where it's Cuddles and you're running into the room and you think it's you're going to get intimate, but then they're just like aggressively hugging and cuddling. You
Exactly.
know?
They aggressively hug each other, and that's a just like it's a comedy in the end of the day.
Yeah,
So we're not like poly people. We have we even make fun of this explanation. Like we have some black screens explaining some terms that we use on the on the show, but it's all in a very comedic way. And the thing about Cuddelz, and also like we didn't make a show that about sexuality, but it's not very sexual. Like there's no like nudities and stuff like that. So
right.
that's why Cuddelz, we express him being a little more cuddly. You know what I mean? Instead of even the dates that we show there, we the max that we show some
Yeah,
doodles of blurred.
yeah, they're blurred,
They're
which is also
blurred,
kind of hilarious.
which is part of the comedy too. It's just like I have nothing against of showing stuff like that. It's just the type of show we're trying to do.
Right.
We're leaning for a more cute type of show, and yeah, and then he's kind of that kind of person. I've met non-binaries or even gay people who are considering themselves asexual, who
Yeah,
doesn't whose sex in their life is not something that is very on the foreground, that they don't practice much. And Cuddelz is a little bit like that. Like he does hugs and stuff like that, but I see him more of a, like, you know what I mean? He's not completely a sexual person, and the lovers like
right.
that because they have, that complements a part of of them in a different way.
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah, yeah. It's like I said, he's my favorite character. So okay, let's talk Abigail.
Abigail is a little bit. She's considered herself as like a bisexual girl,
Yeah.
right? So that's why, like, Abigail, you can take a hint by her name, Abigail. No, that's good. But she is she's very she's the one who united everybody. She's very she's the first one who met everybody
Yeah.
and came together. She is supposed to be the household, but Cuddelz kind of takes over. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
She is the one who kind of like is the matriarch of the family. Like she's the one who kind of like dictates, now we're going to do this, we're going to, like, if you see the series, it looks like she's kind of leading the way of the show. So it's kind of like that. I think she kind of likes to believe that she's the household, but we clearly see that Cuddelz is the one, you know. And Abigail is a little bit more. She's a little bit more. She has like a steady job, you know. She works for a corporate, and
she's the responsible one.
She's the responsible one, exactly.
And who is she played by?
She's played by Andrea Flowers, an amazing actress.
Yeah, we're actually big fan of hers. She did a movie with some friends of ours called I want to make sure.
Way.
Yeah, she did Death and Compromise. So Brian Elder and John Hall wrote this movie called Death and Compromise. It's a Western, but had some comedy, and she was the main actress in that. And she was terrific in it.
Oh yeah. Oh, I'm glad to know that. I didn't know that.
Yeah. So you have to tell her. You have to tell her that.
Oh, definitely will. She's gonna love to know that.
Yeah, big fan of hers just from that, because they talked about John and Brian talked about her and how good she was to work with, and just what a great actress she was.
Oh my gosh, she's amazing.
Filming. So yeah.
She's a great actress. She's very professional. I love to, as the director, that's one of the best actors you can ask for, because like she takes directions really well. She's always happy and smiling. She brings her own personality to the character, but she's also willing to change and never lose the cool. I love her. She's amazing.
Yeah, it seemed like you had a. Go ahead.
No, I just said, like, I love her so much, because our next series that we did right after Poly People, I invite her back to work with us as well.
Well, that's what I was going to say. It seems like the four of you, you can just kind of tell it's not just a relationship on camera. You've got chemistry together, just working together as actors, and you can kind of tell that. And I was curious if you had planned to do other things with them, because it does seem to have a lot of chemistry between you.
Yeah, thank you. I'm glad you noticed that, because that's something that we really wanted to develop, like for this show. That's the first time we all did a show together. Anthony already knew for a long time. Ilona, actually, the one who plays Les, I knew her from college. So I've always wanted to work with her, because I always liked her. And then Andrea, we casted her, so it was a great surprise. But we tried to develop that before we went on set. Like we met regularly as much as we could, more through Zoom meetings and stuff like that. And we really got along for sure. And I think that part of the casting was that too. Like, we want to make sure that whoever is coming would have some chemistry with us, because we're portraying a relationship of four, so it needs to look that way.
Well, that would mess the show up if you couldn't feel that the characters were really involved with each other. That would screw that up.
Yeah, you would. And then after that, we did a show. We did another show right after Poly People that I already had written, and then I invite everybody back. Anthony, everybody that used to Poly People, actually, even the Mormons. People love the Mormons, right? Like, do you remember?
Oh my gosh, those two did a good job. Just their facial expressions were hilarious.
Yeah, that's Rip and Wes. They're our guest star. So they also, it's called Borba Dog, the next show that we're going to talk. It's completely different. It has nothing to do with Poly People. It's completely another world, but everybody on Poly People is in there. So it's actually a very interesting. It's very interesting to see how versatile we all are on that show, because you see Poly People and you had that impression of us, and then Poly is still a comedy. It's a dark comedy though. It's
okay. Yeah, and is it on YouTube as well?
It will be on YouTube. Let's see. We're going to drop soon. Let's see how
that's exciting. Yeah, that's exciting. All right, so talk about Les. Talk about her character for a little bit.
Yeah, Les, played by, like I said, Ilona Kulinska, is my. She went to school with me and back in the days, and we did some theater together. she's amazing. Like Laz, the lesbian, she identifies herself as a lesbian. She is very like she should do wrestling, something that she brings to
Yeah.
the house with Tucker. She's very nonchalant, like she's very like not a lot of is not anything that bothers her, but when he does, she gets really serious, and then she gets really aggressive, but
She's kind of the dad. She's
she's
kind of
kind
the
of the
dad.
dad, yeah.
Yeah.
Cuddelz the mama, she's the dad. Those reverse roles. Yeah, she kind of take care of stuff. She doesn't like
Yeah.
people messing around with the lovers. She
Yeah.
goes to resolve stuff. She there's a scenes where she takes a tree out of the house. Like
That's my favorite scene, is because it shows her, and so it's like Cuddelz has been making tea out of this tree that's poisonous. And so she's just saying, no, we're going to get rid of that. But then it shows her out the window and she's topless cutting this tree down. I mean, it's blurred out, but that was hilarious. That's my favorite scene.
That's the way she's going to do her stuff. She's like, I'm going to protect my, and he's like, Papa is so protective of me. Yeah. And then she just do it. And then drinking a gallon of water, like on her and it's funny because it was written by a lesbian writer, so it's really good to have that perspective and have that way of we just laughed of ourselves, like we're just trying to laugh of the way people perceive us and the way we let people perceive us, and that's what I think the way we're approaching this show. Yeah.
So your fourth member is Tucker.
Yes.
Who is also hilarious.
Yeah. Tucker is the most like conservative character on the show. He was like the bi-curious, straight bi-curious. I think it's the first time that he has a relationship that different, but he's okay with it. He's going along. He's kind of sweetheart, even though he's more conservative. He's a very sweet and more kind of a shy, kind of on his own. He has like conservative parents, and he doesn't know how to come out for them, come out to them.
Yeah, those are some good scenes when all four of you are kind of discussing, how you're going to handle the parents coming for a visit.
Yeah. That's a big pressure on his character, but in the end of the day, he is kind of someone who is willing to learn, and he loves everybody more than anything, and he wants to experiment. He still has the parents' voices in his head, but he's trying to overcome that. There's even a scene with Cuddelz like telling, like, don't let your papa oppresses you, something like that. And he still have like that, but he's tried to break free. He's tried to break free of that that shell, and he wants to twirl. In the end of the day, there's the scene that it's okay for a man to twirl. He's like, it's more than okay. If my man wants to twirl, he's gonna twirl. So he's that kind of character. He's trying to break free.
I love the fact that you've got the four characters, and his parents are supposed to come for a visit, and he's very upset because he doesn't know how to tell them, but he feels like he owes it to you guys to let them know, so that you're not having to change who you are, for his parents. But then the other three characters are all changing. They're like, well, okay, we'll do this to make it easier on you, even though it's making them really uncomfortable. They're going to do it for him. And I thought that was a great scene because it showed how much everybody cared for each other.
Yeah. They're like, yeah, let's make it easier. But then, then he realizes, like, it's not fair for me to let you guys, go out of your way just because of me. So that's how it's, in the end of the day, it's a cute, that's what relationship, like healthy, I believe, healthy relationships do. Like, you learn with the person, we learn with each other, and they grow together. And like, this scene is a representation of that, like that they're all learning with each other and holding their hands and like, okay, let's go through this together. and they're trying to find the best way, you know, like, oh, you're not comfortable, like let's see if we can, you know, what we can do to make it easy, make it better. And then he noticed that it wasn't fair, so you know, they're all adjusting and growing together.
Yeah. I think Cuddelz saying John Wayne in a couple different ways was pretty good. That was funny.
Joanne.
Oh,
He was supposed to say Joanne on the other part. I don't know if it was that clear. He tried to dress up as a John Wayne, but
it came out as Joanne Wayne. Yeah,
Exactly.
that was pretty good. That was pretty good. I enjoyed that. So do you prefer to direct or to act?
Oh, to direct for sure. I love directing. I love shaping the scenes. I love creating the scenes. I'm a very visual person, so every time I have a story or reading a script, I already see it in my mind. So I love directing. Acting is a little reverse than that, because when you act, you kind of have to forget anything else and immerse yourself on that story, on that feeling, you know. And a director is someone who stands backward and see everything from a bird's eye view, which I like that. So they're both different, but if I had to pick one, it's directing for sure.
Yeah, I kind of had a feeling. And you do some writing as well.
Yeah,
which isn't easy. That's never easy.
Stuff, man. Writing is a bitch, if I can. But at the same time, I feel like in my path as a director is something that it was necessary for me to get into it. Yeah, it's just because I don't know, it just helps you express what you want in a movie, and so I think writing goes hand in hand with directing,
right?
And not necessarily in acting though, but like I feel like for me to become a better director, I learning how to write that helped.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I would think it would have to.
Yeah, I don't know if it has to, but it's just like in my process, that's what happened. Like I felt that you know what I mean? I had to learn. And like once you learn about screenplays, how to write screenplays, you're also learning how to make the movie happen. So it's kind of like goes hand in hand. It seems like a lot of hats that I wear.
It's a lot of hats. That's a lot. That was my next question: is how do you find the time to do all that?
Yeah, it's just like I was saying, it's just one thing that complements the other. Like when I take the is a step, there's steps that you follow through. Like when I'm developing, I'm writing, and then if I'm acting on it, I'm gonna spend my time rehearsing and rehearsing with the actors. And then if I'm rehearsing with the actors and I'm directing, I direct them. I ask them to direct me. Sometimes I ask my producers to like, hey, am I getting that right? Because that's the toughest thing, is to jump between acting and any other hats, because acting is something that you really need to immerse yourself into.
Right.
So once you do that, you kind of forget. I try to, like many times I was on a scene and I was looking at the actor and was like, oh, what a great take right here. But then the camera was on the wide on the other side. It was like, oh shit, didn't capture what I was seeing right here. That's my eyes, not the camera. But so that's something that I had to learn, like those differences. Yeah. But at the same time, like to shut my voice as a director and be like, if I'm on a scene with an actor, let me just be fully present and try to get the emotion of the scene and make it happen. I think on Poly People, it was very natural because I already rehearsed a lot with the cast members, so we already knew it was like second nature for us. And also the camera work on that show is very organic. So that was wasn't something that I was too worried about, because I wanted to be a little bit like, I talked to Grant Bell, our cinematographer, that he knew what's up, you know, he did a very good job in terms of capturing, doing some zooms, some comedic.
Right, he did.
Yeah, so he knew that. So I wasn't worried much about that part of directing. And I knew some takes I wanted to make sure I grabbed it, but other than that, I was fully immersed. And I've done post-production for a long time, and I used to work full-time as a director, as an editor.
Oh, okay,
So
yeah, that's
yeah,
not
so
easy.
yeah, so I also have that. Like that makes it easier for me to direct because I kind of knows already like what kind of coverage I'm gonna need for the editing.
Right.
So I don't know. I've been doing all of this for a long time, so we just learn how to make it happen.
Are you more critical of yourself from a director side or with other actors?
um, I like to say that I'm equally critical.
Yeah.
I don't. Yeah, I know how to separate my myself from my work really well. Like if I'm editing I'm not that kind of person. Like I can, right? Like, oh, I cannot watch myself. That kind of actor. I cannot be that way. I've never been actually. Like I'm very like I try to be very professional when I'm doing my stuff in terms of like in my performance is getting, like I said, like directing for me is number one. So like, and also it's like is the eyes that are directing the whole project.
Right.
So if I'm not, I'm really open to suggestions, and my partners, my producers, I always tell like if I'm fucking it up, let me know. And if I have criticism of my own work, because like I try to vocalize them and say like,
Yeah.
hey, I don't know, am I too exaggerated here, or did that is that right? How do you think I should do it? Like I'm thinking that way. So I share my own director notes with the partners to see if I'm not tripping, and I go from there. But I think I'm equally critical from my acting to any acting that is on the project. I don't tend to separate, even when I'm editing and I I select the cuts. Like I try to select the best performance, and I do the same as my performance. Like, oh, I had a better performance here, and I had a worse performance there. So I choose equally.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah, that's pretty
Yeah.
good. That's pretty good. So, what's next for Poly People? Are we going to get a season 2? Are we going to see it on a larger platform at some point? What's next?
For poly people, I don't know. I'm sorry, I don't know if you're hearing. There's like a school right next to my house, so they're like they're speaking loud here. I don't know if it's going through you, but
No. You're
it's speakerphone here.
Say, hey, you're distracting me. Keep it down.
The podcast here. Can you? No, but they're it's like a cute Jewish middle school, so I think they're having a break right now, so they're guiding.
Well, yeah, well, they're allowed to do that.
So so poly people, we are being considered for the Emmys. So
that's really exciting. I'm glad you brought that up. That's so exciting because the episodes run like 8 to 15 minutes, right? Something like that. So they're fairly short. There's 8 episodes, right? 8 episodes. Seven. Seven. And so you got you got considered for the Emmys for like best actor, and then the short film or short something.
Outstanding short form category. That's the category that under.
That's exciting.
Yeah. So we're on the campaign, and that's why we hold Borba Dog the next show, because we weren't expecting to get on the campaign for poly people, which we're really excited to be in. So we're waiting. There's a voting going on for the Academy members. So if any Academy members are listening, please just consider.
That's right. That's right. Come on, vote.
Come on. And we can ask to vote. We have to ask them to consider, watch, see if you like it, and we're on the ballot. You know what you do. But
I would think that would make it easier if you wanted to shop it around, to make it into like, say, a 30-minute sitcom, something like that. That should make it easier for that.
Right? It should make it easier because it's faster to watch. So we actually have a partnership with Breaking Glass. It's a distribution company that distributed my feature. So they're going to be distributing to other platforms, Poly People, regardless of the Emmy. But depending, we love that show, so we always wanted to do a second season, just because we liked it a lot. But it's not like I did my YouTube channel. It's called Thales Correa Presents, and we started with Poly People, and then we have Borba Dog, and we have other shows that I have on slate that I want to drop there. And so that's the plan. So Poly People second season, it was planned to come a little later. But let's see, with Emmys right now, a lot of things change. Yeah, we never know.
Somebody may be coming or blowing your phone up, wanting to
somebody blow up. We know what we know is that we are being considered for the Emmy. So if people vote, like if we get enough votes, we get to a nomination. And Breaking Glass already got a hold of our material to distribute to other platforms. So it's going to be really depending on which platforms they're going to take. Maybe Peacock. Maybe we're going to go to Peacock.
Oh, Peacock would be good. Yeah.
That would be great. That would be great. I don't know. Yeah, maybe I'm saying.
That's exciting. Yeah, but that's exciting that it's being considered and shopped around. Are you getting positive feedback from people who are watching, people in the community, or
amazing feedbacks. I just got a review from Film Threat that they loved it. Like we only get like amazing feedbacks. I'm impressed. I've got very mixed reviews on other projects I've done, but Poly People is getting amazing.
It's good.
Excited.
Yeah, it'd be tough to find flaws with it. I thought it was just so well, because it's almost like if you watch them all together, it's like a short movie.
Yeah. It's a little short film. Yeah.
And it's so good. So okay, so is there anything else that we haven't touched on that you're working on? Is there a genre that you haven't done before that you'd like to do, or is there any other projects that you have kind of out there that we can kind of look forward to?
Well, Borba Dog is definitely my next project that is going to be dropped with all the cast for Poly People.
That's exciting.
Is a dark comedy. Is about this Uber driver that meets this old eccentric rich guy that is dying and leaves all his money to his dog, so he's trying to snatch that. And the old man is played by Anthony Moore, the guy who played Tucker.
Yeah, I really liked him.
Yeah, he's great. So definitely is a general blending there on that show. Is there's a little bit of mystery, a little bit of drama, but it's ultimately told in a comedic way.
Yeah.
I'm a kind of person that I love to explore new things. I love to explore new genres. Like I didn't know I would be doing a mockumentary about polyamorous relationship so soon, but that came about, and I was like, oh my God, this is a great idea. Let's do it. Like I like that kind of to try different stuff. Like I like musicals too. That's something that I've tried to develop. I like all kinds of things. I like to be versatile. I like to try new things. I like to take chances and to risk. And I love comedy. I've done drama too. My 2 short films is very dramatic. It's tough. I think it's tough to define,
That's good though. That's good. Do you also
I put all my stuff on my website, thalescorrea.com.
I was definitely going to ask that question. Do you act in projects from other people? Do you do mainstream network stuff? Do you try out for any of that stuff, or do you just concentrate on more your creative process?
I've done a movie in Brazil. I wish I could do some mainstream stuff. Like I said, I'm not I like to challenge. I like to challenge myself. I like to risk, do different stuff. I'm concentrating in showing my work as a director, and that's what I'm focusing on right now. But I wouldn't say no if the opportunity presents itself
I
for
think
me
it's
to.
going to. I have a feeling you're so talented. I think stuff's
Thank
going
you
to
so
start
much.
dropping in your lap. It's coming. It's probably right after this interview. That's what I think.
Probably as soon as we hang up here, I'll let you know. It's like, hey, you were right.
You were right. You were right. All right. So before I let you go, let's go through one more time. You know, all of your social media, where we can find Poly People and all the other great things that you're doing.
Perfect. Thanks so much. Yeah, Poly People is on my YouTube channels. It's called Thales Correa Presents, but I think if you type Poly People on YouTube, you can find
It
it.
comes up. Yeah, it
It
comes
comes up. Or if you want a direct link, it's thalescorrea.com/ no. YouTube.com/Thales
That's
Correa.
right. That's right.
My website is thalescorrea.com. It has all my projects there because a lot of my projects, sometimes they're, for example, I got distribution for Breaking Glass. So there's a lot of all over the place.
Yeah.
So my website summarizes everything in one place, so you can double check there. But most of my projects I'm dropping on my YouTube, which is youtube.com/Thales Correa. You can find me on Instagram, which is Thales CR,
Yeah.
THALESCR. My Twitter account is also Thales CR, and I'm on Facebook as well. I'm on TikTok. I'm all over the place.
You're everywhere.
Yeah, slide me on the DMs and let's talk. But seriously,
Well,
if you guys are listening, watching, and get a chance to watch Poly People, hit me up. I would love to hear what you guys like. What anybody thinks
yeah.
of the show. I love hearing feedbacks, what we do right, what we do wrong. And I think like this is always like a learning process, and I love to hear people's opinion.
Yeah, terrific, terrific. Well, you have to come back, and maybe next time after you win, your Emmy, or when
Amy, oh
season
my
two's getting
God.
ready to come out, we'll
God
bring the
bless them.
cast on. Let's bring everybody, and we'll
I
just
would
do.
love to. Yeah, they're
Yeah.
amazing. You're gonna love to meet them.
Yeah, that
they're
would
awesome.
be terrific. We'll do a little panel celebration.
That would be great. Yeah, yeah. Andrea, Ilona, and Anthony, all of us four. That would be great.
That would be a lot of fun. I think that would be a blast.
Oh,
Well,
for sure. Anytime.
yeah, we have to do it. We have to do it. Thank you so much for doing this. You've been it's so much fun to talk to. I'm so glad that I got to meet you. I'm a big fan. I'm a big fan now. I've been watching your stuff for a couple days. Big fan.
Thank you so much. I appreciate all the kind words. I appreciate the space and the invite. It's my pleasure. I really enjoyed being here with you. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you. Okay, Thales, hold on 1 second. I'm gonna hit pause. All right, so that was Thales Correa. What a terrific guy. He is now one of my favorite entertainment people, period. I was going to say actor, but he likes to direct even more than he likes to act. So I'll just say entertainment person. He is awesome. Definitely do yourself a favor. Check out Poly People on YouTube. It's very easy to find. You'll enjoy it. You'll enjoy it. It's different, I think, than anything else out there. It's very well done, very fun, kind of heartwarming, touching at times, but just really well done. Talented group of people that he has on the show. So, yeah, please check that out. Thank you guys so much for tuning in, listening to us again this week. Really appreciate that. If you haven't done so already, please check us out on YouTube under MeisterCon Pod. Really appreciate if you would subscribe. That would help us out. You can find all of our 260 or so episodes on meistercon.com. Audio and video. There's a terrific blog from Brett that's just a lot of fun. He's such a good writer, and it'll let you know anything that we're involved in. So please check that out. Until next time, thank you, everybody. Bye.